This is Peggy Anne Salz. This is Pocket Gamer, and this is the opportunity to also congratulate Dylan Aguiar, who is Managing Director, Gryphon Games, because you've done it. You have just brought out a new game in December, so very, very recently.
Yes.
First of all, how's it going over there at Gryphon Games?
It's going good at Gryphon Games. The team is really strong. They're putting a lot of effort into the game, and we're optimistic that it's going to work for us.
Well, I will give you credit for this. It's a mining game, as we were chatting about. You know, you mine resources, you build your ship. There's a lot of events, which is really important. So you've done something really well, building the game mechanic into the monetization model, which is what everyone's supposed to do. And you can't back engineer it. You cannot backward engineer it. So tell me about that. You have these events. What are you using those events for? Is it to test the game, understand the audience, make the money?
A little bit of everything, yes. So primarily, of course, the main purchase events are there, the ad monetization events. But for us, it was important to understand how far the user is getting. So in the early testing, to what level do they get to which planet do they get to? And we found out early on, people were finishing the game, which for us was a positive sign. Okay, we need more content. And then from there, we went on to understanding which events are people participating in, what items are they purchasing. So this is, in a way, how it went. Yeah.
Well, that's important input. That will tell you how to expand the game.
Yes.
I'm also hearing a lot in the industry about sort of like, when do you introduce the monetization elements? Because it used to be you wait a little bit and see what's resonating. But hey, we have examples like Whiteout Survival. You just jump in there and start with the offers.
It's a good question. For us, we waited a few weeks before putting in our monetization. But that's because we first want to know the CPI and the retention. But it came pretty quick, and that's the focus now. We're not a few hundred person company. So for us, it's just one step at a time. Which new thing do we want to try? Which new type of monetization to see if people engage with it? So for a game like ours, it was understanding, do people want to buy new ships? Do people want to buy new weapons? And then going in this direction. If they didn't, then we could, at an early stage, pivot rather than putting in something that we know will work, like a login calendar.
You just started, so we won't go there entirely, but I'd be really intrigued to understand your thinking about the live ops and the events, because you already have conversion events that I can buy and I can build my ship.
Right.
But later on, you know, speaking as a publisher, you have to think of these things early. What are you thinking about now?
It's a very good question. So we do have a long list of live ops we want to put in. And so, for example, for us, we started basic with an event that runs over the weekend. So for 3 or 4 days, where you have a special planet that you have to mine. It's limited time. There's limited purchases, limited ads you can watch as well. And it gives the player something new that they can do, where it's a completely different progression. So it's like they have the fun experience of starting from the beginning, and they still have their main gameplay. Of course, we look for inspiration from some of the big publishers, like Whiteout Survival or Archero. But it'll take time. Again, we're a small team to get in all of the live ops we want. The most important for us is we just do it one step at a time, make sure that the players enjoy it, and we'll see that in the metrics ourselves as well.
So there's also an interesting question around the content itself. I'm just curious how much you've bought into and thinking about the AI tools and all the different ways of being able to scale it, because you are a small team. And I was talking to people and they're like, hey, we love these tools because they are superpowers for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are using AI tools. It's one of, let's say, the secondary foundations we have is to make sure that we're being as efficient as possible. So for example, the team is using ChatGPT often to make sure that it understands what we need to know. We have used it as well in the creative side for marketing. So to make different videos or image assets for inspiration as well. Even a little bit in the game because it helps the artist just get through things faster. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very powerful thing that we're using. Definitely.
It's also not just the creative, it's the marketing. I'm fascinated by how many companies are beginning to understand how they can use it to look for cohorts in a different way, because you put a different perspective on it. You know, it is AI, but very much human assisted, knowing what you're going after and then trying to figure that out and sort of again try to pull that back into a strategy. How are you approaching it at the market? As you're not just managing director, you're head of marketing. Where does it come in the marketing and the strategy there?
So one good example is I had a vision of what we want to do for a playable ad, and I have the vision. I understand what it looks like, but I can't code HTML5 so well. And in this case, it was a good use of AI, and it helped us make our first playable ad, which was working better than our videos. And of course, there was a lot of tweaking along the way, but it was through the help of AI that we were able to make this ad, actually. Yeah.
And ads, of course, they also give you insight into the product. Is that how you're using it as well, to sort of understand, not fake ads, I didn't say that. I mean, just understanding the ad experience, how that works into the player experience, and then, you know, making that into this feedback loop.
Yes. Actually, early on with previous games, we would use the ads to see, for example, should we make a game that's pixel art, or should it be 2D, or should it be 2.5D? And we would then change the game in the very early stage. And this helped us decide, okay, this art style works better for us. And this was using the ads to tailor the game experience, because more players were engaging with this ad. They wanted to see more of this, so that's what we made.
So you recently launched it, and there's a lot to learn from the data. There's a lot to bring out of that. But when you're looking at where you want to take it, we can't ignore the fact that it's not easy for indies. You're not a major company, not yet anyway, Dylan. Although maybe, who knows, this might be the interview that knocks it out of the park.
Sure.
No, but seriously, when you're looking ahead to that, and you're thinking about your team and your budget and everything, managing and balancing, how do you keep that balance? What's some takeaways for our audience? Because they also are trying to do exactly this. You're doing it in real life. What are some takeaways, learning?
Yeah, very good question. I mean, I think for me, the number one thing as the marketer is to make sure you're doing things profitably and making a game that can sustain your business. Otherwise, you wouldn't really be able to do it. So this for us is an early indication, and making a game that's fun. So something that you and the team believe in, that you enjoy doing, and just making sure that the end user experience is very fun, because for everyone it's a positive experience. So for example, with Planet Crusher, the team really enjoys it. We're looking at the numbers like daily together. We're very hyped for the weekly releases. So make sure you're having fun. Make sure you can hit, the realistic goals you want, so the ROAS numbers, and keep trying. So this wasn't our first game. We did many failed prototypes, and that's a normal part of the process. And just keep trying with your next idea.
I'm glad you didn't give up, because I was watching the company before, and this one sounds like a winner. You've got conversion events, live ops strategy. You know where you're going with this one, Dylan. I wish you all the best with your game.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
This show is all about how to do your job better, how to make an amazing game, how to market it, and you have a say. So if you have a story or know someone we need to shine a light on, then we would love to hear from you.
We want to hear from you. We want to reflect the reality of the mobile games market in all its wonderful complexity and strangeness. So if you have any suggestions for us, if you have any feedback for us, you can always get in touch. You can email us at podcast@pocketgamer.biz. You can find us on Twitter @PGBiz, and you can reach out to us through the pocketgamer.biz website. If you're interested in listening to all of our podcasts, you can find them at pocketgamer.biz/podcast. and we would love to hear your thoughts on future shows.
And we've got you covered on all the major platforms, so subscribe to the audio podcast, as Brian said. Look for us on YouTube. If you want to read it, hey, you can do that too, because we have a companion post for you as well on the pocketgamer.biz website.
Tune in again for the next edition of the pocketgamer.biz podcast, and we look forward to speaking to you in the near future. Until then, I'm Brian Baglow.
I'm Peggy Anne Salz, and that's a wrap until next week.